We've all been through some kind of gender stereotype of maybe how girls should play with dolls or how boys should play with trucks. We even sometimes separate ourselves because of our genders, like we girls think this is normal while you guys think that is weird. Well, through these little aspects in life, I began to wonder, why do females and males sometimes think and act differently? So, I decided to search the answer for myself. And I started by finding out the surprising fact that, according to the Department of Psychiatry, a woman's brain is actually 10% smaller than a man's. Can you believe that? But then I wondered, what does this mean in terms of intelligence? Well, research by scientists from University of Edinburgh shows that while there may be differences in overall brain volume between men and women, this does not correlate with intelligence. However, the subtle differences in the brain can affect cognitive abilities in various ways. For instance, the average female's brain's neurocircuit map displays a greater number of connections between the left and right hemispheres, as opposed to the male brain, where the regions between the back and front of the brain is predominantly stronger. And these findings by researchers from University of Cambridge explains that males might be optimized for motor skills and analytical thinking, which is why they tend to excel in the hard sciences. On the other hand, women might be optimized for combining analytical and intuitive thinking, resulting in most women having high levels of empathy and being better suited for social sciences. Moving on to the chemistry of the brain. The work by Dr. Jans, a founder for a top 10 facility for treatment of depression, shows that the neurochemicals processed between men and women are the same, but they're processed to varying degrees. And as a result of this, men tend to be less inclined to sit still and more physically aggressive and impulsive, which is why sometimes we would see more men engage in fights than women. In addition, there's also blood flow and brain activity differences. Females tend to have a higher level of blood flow throughout their brain, especially in the concentration area known as the cingulate gyrus. And as a result of this, women tend to revisit emotional memories more often than males do, which is why sometimes we can remember the small details more, while men usually only recall the main point. Continuing with the difference in processing. A male's brain is supported by almost 7 times more gray matter than women, while women is supported by almost 10 times more white matter. But what is this white matter or gray matter? Well, both of these are essential for general intelligence, but they have distinct roles. Gray matter serves as the information processing centers in the brain, while white matter acts as the connections between those processing centers. And because of this, because women have way more white matter than men, it might explain why sometimes we can transfer from one task to another more quickly than guys. Another astounding fact I found was the structural differences between men and women. The hippocampus, which is our memory center, is generally larger in females. And in addition to that, there is a high level of neural connections leading into the hippocampus, which is why women sometimes might be better at emphasizing with others, and they can retain and possess more emotional and sensory information than males can. Also, and the one more interesting thing that I found was a 2004 study conducted by researchers from University of Pennsylvania. And in their study, they explained that men and women actually have different setups in terms of the right and left hemispheres. And for instance, verbal centers are present on both sides of the brain in the female, while in the male brain, it tends to be only present on the left hemisphere. Also, areas that are responsible for social cognition and verbal communication have more connections between each other in the female brain, which is why we women sometimes can be better at emphasizing with others, have a stronger awareness of their surroundings, and are more expressive at the use of language. Because sociability may be linked to the pleasure centers, it might explain why women tend to be more talkative or can gain greater pleasure from engaging in a conversation. Conversely, due to decreased connectivity between men and women, in the male brain, their communication skills are less effective, which is why they generally show less interest in conversations. Yet, even though there are so many little neurological differences in the brain between men and women, the brain's mechanism is never fixed. Connections in the neurons can change as a result of learning and experience. Even similar brains can diverge over time due to how boys and girls are treated and what is expected of them. Our upbringing plays an important role in shaping our actions, thoughts, and beliefs, and then our brains can adapt according to those. Upon reflection, my research has finally answered my question and provide insight into the complex factors shaping a diverse insight observed between genders. It has become evident that both the neurological variances and cultural dynamics play important roles into this phenomenon. While gender may influence certain neurological distinctions, it does not serve as an absolute determinant of how our brains can work. Every individual possesses a capacity to develop their unique ideas influenced by the personal journey. We are so much more than our neurological brain. We are multi-faced beings, shaped not only by our neurobiology, but also by our personal experiences. Therefore, it is important that we understand and acknowledge these differences, fostering empathy and mutual appreciation to navigate conflicts and foster and promote harmony within the society.